Delegates, I begin my legislative update by thanking you. Officially, educator appreciation has been the theme of the week, but unofficially, I believe it's been the theme of the entire year. So thank you for all that you've done and all that you continue to do for our students, our communities, and our colleagues as we navigate through this successfully. I know there are days when we question our success. However, educators overcome adversity better than anyone because we face it almost every day. So let me be clear. Your leadership for members and your care for students has been a tremendous success. The Fair School Funding Plan, also known as Cupp-Patterson, was introduced to the 134th General Assembly as House Bill 1. Subsequently, it's been incorporated into the latest version of House Bill 110, also known as the Budget Bill, which guides Ohio's spending over the next 2 years. The Fair School Funding Plan will do away with broken school funding formula, which has been declared unconstitutional for over 2 decades. The Fair School Funding Plan calls for about $1.8 billion additional state dollars to be spent annually educating our students and will be phased in over a 6-year period. Nearly 3 out of 4 of those new dollars go to Ohio's neediest kids in Ohio's neediest districts. Nearly every student in nearly every district will be better off under this plan. The need for local school levies will not be eliminated, however. Funding our schools will be less reliant on them. Also, the Fair School Funding Plan directly funds vouchers and charter schools from the state, eliminating the pass-through model that cripples many of our school districts. The American Rescue Plan earmarks nearly $4.5 billion to Ohio's classrooms over the next 3 years or so. This is cause for excitement. $4.5 billion. Say it a couple times. It's fun to say. It's a big number. What's intriguing is that in most Ohio school districts, the additional state money received from the Fair School Funding Plan will outpace the annualized federal money from the American Rescue Plan. So when you tell your superintendents and your school boards to spend the money by investing in personnel such as school counselors, school psychologists, intervention specialists, bus drivers, social workers, and others, you can do so with confidence because your districts will be able to continue these investments beyond the lifespan of the federal money thanks to the Fair School Funding Plan. Additionally, through OEA advocacy, completing the FAFSA as a requirement to high school graduation was removed from the governor's version of the budget. And currently, the budget bill contains language that makes taking the ACT and SAT optional, not mandatory. Do we encourage our students to seek higher education? Of course we do. However, forcing students and families to fill out forms and take tests is not the way to do that. Investing in higher education and making college more affordable is a good place to start. The American Rescue Plan provides around $1 billion for higher education in Ohio, and the Biden administration has a plan that will provide 2 years of community college free of charge. House Bill 200 and Senate Bill 145 attempt to eliminate the horrific A through F report card for schools and districts. House Bill 200 replaces letter grades with a series of 6 phrases ranging from significantly exceeds expectations to meets expectations to in need of support. Also, overall district and building ratings are prohibited. Senate Bill 145 would use a 5-star system with the ability to earn half stars. Either way, our students and our communities and educators would no longer be able to be labeled as failing. OEA continues to advocate for a student opportunity dashboard to be added to each bill. The dashboard outlines what opportunities exist in each district and building, such as staffing ratios, co-curricular activities, student supports, and other pertinent information as outlined in OEA's new business item passed by OEA RA delegates in December 2019. As for testing, well, I don't need to tell any of you how disappointed we were that the Biden administration didn't grant blanket testing waivers this school year to accommodate pandemic-related issues. We were able to reduce the testing somewhat and did get an accountability waiver from the feds, which means no test score will be counted against schools, districts, or educators this year. House Bill 73, which is similar to House Bill 239 from last year's General Assembly, is aimed at reducing the testing load on Ohio students. A major provision of the bill eliminates the fall administration of the third grade ELA test and student retention provisions of the third grade reading guarantee. House Bill 54, House Bill 100, and Senate Bill 165 are designed to either dissolve academic distress commissions or give a district a pathway out of state takeover. Lorain, Youngstown, and East Cleveland need to have the local control of an elected school board returned to them. House Bill 151, as proposed, eliminates the cumbersome resident educator program and replaces it with a 2-year local mentoring program. Far too often, I've seen talented educators driven out of our profession by an overbearing and overreaching summative assessment. The debate about arming educators in schools continues. This time, it's House Bill 99 that's at the center of our attention. OEA strongly opposes House Bill 99 because it makes our schools less safe. Currently, if school personnel carries a firearm in a school safety zone, they must receive the same number of hours of training that a peace officer would receive. This bill would reduce the training requirement to 8 hours, and 6 hours of that could be accomplished online. This doesn't make sense. I don't have enough time to outline all of the potential problems that go along with inadequate training, guns, and our students. Let me conclude with some optimism on the issues of school funding, report cards, and academic distress commissions. I see agreement on both sides of the aisle that the status quo is not working, and we need an improved path moving forward. That type of acknowledgement hasn't happened in quite some time. That doesn't mean there won't be challenges, because there will. Take heart knowing that your voice is heard, and you make a difference. We will continue to ask you to raise your collective voices over the coming weeks so that we can create the environments where our students can learn, succeed, and thrive. As a matter of fact, I'm asking for 2 things right now. Number 1, take action on the Fair School Funding Plan. There is an action alert being placed in the chat, and it is also on the homepage of ohea.org. It's quick, it's simple. Let your legislator know that now is the time to fully and fairly fund public education in Ohio. Secondly, since you're already on the website, click on the donate button and give to the OEA Fund if you haven't already done so. Finally, OEA will be hosting a series of brown bag meetings for members and staff next week in order to learn about the American Rescue Plan and to understand the power your association has in determining how this money gets spent. That's right. Educators and their unions are required by the Act to have input into how this money gets spent. Delegates, united we stand, together we persevere, so our students may thrive. Mr. President, that concludes my report, and I'll stand for any questions. And as those are coming in, I would like to acknowledge our GR department, who assists me greatly, led by Steve Dyer, the Director of Governmental Relations. I know you have some other titles that go with you, Steve, but that's the one I'm concerned about, our GR Director. Matt Dodson, lobbyist, Melissa Clark, lobbyist, Robert Davis, lobbyist, Isabel Bozada-Jones, and Zach Roberts are both political consultants, and Lisa Simpson, their administrative assistant who supports their work. And I have to give a shout out to Julie Parsley, who's behind the scenes working the slides, so thank you for that, Julie.
All right, thank you for that excellent report, Jeff. And again, if you have questions on the legislative report, please enter your information into the chat. We will pause for a moment to see if anybody has any questions. I don't see anyone having submitted a question. So again, Jeff, appreciate your leadership, your great work. It was an excellent report. We have a lot of work to do. Let's get it done.